So we met in October 2015 over a very rainy but memorable night over Thai food and coffee, and subsequently developed an unbreakable bond as we try to discover Boston's beautiful culture, architecture, culture, and academia together over the subsequent year.
So the most impressive thing about her, I think, is how sweet she is despite how incredibly demanding her work is and how difficult it is for her to deal with the demands of it. But she still manages to keep a really friendly and optimistic and happy nature. And I think that impresses me even more than the obviously impressive technical and intellectual abilities that her work requires. Our second date, we got lost. We went for a hike in the park, and I guess it was sort of my fault that I misjudged the size of the park. So we started at around 3 p.m. and I thought we'd be able to walk around this lake and come back before sunset, but the sun was setting and we were still maybe about only halfway around the lake, maybe less. So we had to retrace our footsteps and actually ended up getting a bit lost because the sun had completely set by the time we were still in the woods. So we had to navigate off the park to a road where we could at least get a map and see where things were going. But we made it back, just slightly more delayed.
Well, it's embarrassing for Paul because he got us lost in the park, but it was particularly embarrassing for me because I was convinced that we would be eaten by a bear. Instead of trying to find our way back to the road with the very little amount of battery we still had and the lack of signal we had on an iPhone, I was thinking about how I was going to go around avoiding bears in the woods. And all I could think about that night was the fact that I was going to miss my test the next day, and what would I do if I got eaten by a bear? Well, the proposal was good. Paul and I had spoken about getting married as early as July of 2016, which is less than a year after we had met. And I think because we share so many things in common and because we had so many dreams for our future, it only made sense for us to combine our dreams and goals and to try to achieve those goals more as a unified couple than as individual people. So we had spoken about a proposal as early as July.
So I think that even back when we were dating early on, I told Shelly about sort of what I thought was my desire for a life with my partner, and she agreed, and in a way that was sort of the foundation of the commonality that we share. It is sort of to have a family, to see the world, and to make a difference. And I think we both share that dream, and in a way, I guess both of our careers enable us to do that.
And certainly everything went extremely smoothly, and I was so happy when Paul finally proposed, because we had already booked a celebratory engagement dinner at 6 p.m. And when he still hadn't proposed by about 3, we were getting a little bit antsy. So we finally decided we would, get everybody into our family room. And he proposed, and my family was able to catch it on video and by pictures, and it was certainly extremely memorable to us, and we all sighed a sigh of relief that we would still be able to go on to our celebratory dinner at 6 p.m. as planned. I think our honeymoon would then be a combination of different adventures that we would have over the next few years. I think immediately after the wedding, we would be happy to probably just spend a day maybe in Center Island or maybe outside of Toronto just to relax.
Well, I think that if I were to tell something to Shelly, it would be that it'll be okay. I mean, both of us still have so much to do that's still up in the air. We're both still at pretty much the outset of our careers. And of course, in the very beginning of our life together. So much is still left to be defined. And that can be daunting, and I think that the most important thing for both of us to keep in mind, really, is just that in the end it'll be okay so long as we do our best. We don't need to worry too much. They got me quite cross, but the sun's been kind while I wrote this song. It's for people like you that keep it turned on.
I want to tell Paul that I feel so lucky to have him in my life. I do thank my lucky stars every day to have him as a part of my life, whether he is physically beside me or a country away. I'm so happy that we are getting married and that we're now able to face so many adventures in the future as one, tackle hardships together as one, and to be able to live our lives with exponentially more meaning than we could have ever done alone.